Why do you keep failing? So guys, what we know is that most people have at some point gone through a body transformation. Most of those people have had success, but have failed in terms of maintaining that thereafter. Why is that? And what is the fundamental aspect to setting goals, achieving them, and then being able to maintain them moving into the future? Now, this is not going to be a conversation about nutrition. It's not going to be a conversation about training. It's actually going to be a conversation surrounding psychology. And I'm going to self-reference here, which is something that I very rarely do, but I think it is very, very pertinent in this context. So throwing back to when I started my fitness journey at the age of around about 18, 19, just after I finished school, being incredibly overweight myself, sitting at around about 230 pounds or so, I think back to that time and what it took for me to finally transition into somebody that I considered to be somebody that's into fitness, okay? And it makes me think that an integral component of your success in this endeavor and your continued success in this endeavor is an ability to change your perception of yourself, right? So when you are starting out at the beginning of this process, you're going to have certain very tightly held and very innate beliefs about who you are as an individual. And in order to truly find success, you need to change your self-identity. You are essentially changing your entire life and changing the narrative about who you are as a person. If you are starting out in this process, you're likely thinking of yourself as somebody who doesn't train, doesn't eat well, drinks on the weekends, parties on the weekends, I eat pizza, I eat burgers and fries, I eat fast foods. All these kind of self-limiting beliefs that are beliefs simply because you've engaged in those behaviors for years over a chronic basis. Now, is it easy to change those beliefs? Hell no, it is very, very challenging, but you go about it in a very similar manner to how you arrived there in the first place, which is chronically engaging in other behaviors. So I was having this conversation with a client this morning and saying that the most challenging component of this entire endeavor are the initial stages. Because that is the time, and a lot of people talk about motivation. Motivation means nothing. Motivation is a tool just to get you moving in the right direction. Thereafter, you go through two distinct other phases. The first one is when the motivation drops off. And you need to go through a period of time where, despite you don't have that initial level of motivation, you are forcing yourself to engage in the behaviors that you know are going to lead to the ultimate goal. Thereafter, if you are successful with that, that is the most challenging part. If you are successful with that part, then you get to the point where those behaviors become habits. And habits are easy to engage in because you do them on autopilot. And once those behaviors become habits, the narrative that you have about yourself and your self-identity completely changes. And that is the crucial component to long-term success. So bear this in mind. When you are starting out in this process and it seems, you get through the first few weeks, maybe the first month or two, that initial level of motivation drops off and you start feeling how hard it is. Bear in mind that it will not be hard forever. It will become easy again, and it will become easier than it ever has been as long as you can have the self-discipline to force yourself into doing those behaviors for an extended period of time, just until they start becoming habits, and those habits start transferring to your narrative about yourself and changing your beliefs about who you are as a person.